UCLA Brains presenting conversation starters and networking tips. We have probably all been in a large social setting, either an event, party, or just a hangout where you might not know a lot of people. It can be really intimidating, especially if you are not naturally outgoing or comfortable interacting with others. You may find yourself choosing instead to stand on the sidelines and observe the conversations rather than initiating anything. But if you think about it, the most difficult part is starting the conversation. Once you begin talking, what follows is more natural. Maintaining the topic or transitioning to different subjects gets less intimidating. Hopefully, the points on this presentation will help you get over the first stump and initiate that conversation next time you are in a social setting. So, what makes a good conversation starter? The best way is to start with a question, something natural and something comfortable. The goal is to start an ongoing conversation. It is easy to fall back on what you enjoy and ramble about your passions, but it is also important to listen and show others that you are genuinely interested in what they have to say. It is also good to be confident and show that through your gestures, your posture, your eye contact, your voice tone, and volume. Active listening and responding with smiles and nods and everything keep for a better conversation. The first type of questions are super general. They can help if you're trying to get to know the person or want to introduce yourself. Usually, you can try these if you find everyone mingling around in small groups and you want to join. Questions to start with are, how are you? And maybe, where are you from? Even though they are simple, these questions can go a long way. You can also choose to continue with asking the person's opinion on a subject specific to the topic of conversation, or if you do need to take a break, you can ask for a favor. The next type of starters can help you find something in common with the person you are conversing with. You may notice that they are wearing a shirt with some character on it that you also know about. You may recognize them as a friend's acquaintance and want to strike up a conversation with this connection. To start off on the right foot, you may choose to compliment their shirt or their sunglasses. You may ask about the book they are carrying around or about how they landed at this event. These light questions may guide you into deeper conversations and might start building the relationships with people that you meet at these events. Though casual conversation starters are widely used and routine, networking meetings and more formal events require a little more attention in your speech. However, there is a general schematic that works for most of these affairs. Simply introducing yourself and politely asking about others' interests and fields is a good way to weave into a conversation. After mingling about specific projects and background, it is okay to get more personal. It is often appropriate to ask about hobbies and interests. Talking exclusively about occupations can only last so long, especially if everyone is not in the same field. But asking about their passions and their lives outside work can continue or elongate conversations that you want to keep going. Some networking tips that are weaved into conversation starters. Well, the first thing is try to arrive early. If you do, it is easier to find conversation. It is easier to calm yourself and placate and get used to your surroundings. The next thing, don't focus too much on the professional. People want to get to know you as a person first. It is okay to keep it more light and informal, but be prepared to talk about yourself and your credentials when asked as well. Be genuine. Make sure you aren't suppressing how you feel about what you do and your interests. Make sure that you are honest with everything, and that way is the easiest to show your passions. Make sure to listen to what the other person has to say and respond appropriately. Make sure you don't end up dominating the conversation because it is a two-way encounter, at least. And follow up. When the conversation is nearing the end, ask for the best way to keep in touch. And it will definitely leave an impression. So building your own starter kit. A good way to get more prepared and comfortable with using these starters is to build your own set of starters that you like and want to use. Memorize these and get comfortable saying them. Next time you are in a social setting, refer to your starter kit and practice them, add to them or improve them, and solidify a list of starters that you find are perfect for you to use and things that you are super comfortable and adapted to. Some other tips and reminders. One tip is actually practicing saying these starters out loud. This can be super weird and awkward at first, but you will get used to it and it will help you in the future. You can even try doing this in a mirror so you can see what emotions you are expressing and giving off to the other person, and work on being someone you would want to have a conversation with. If you are nervous about actually saying something in a social setting, remember that you are definitely not the only one who isn't a natural conversationalist. There are others who feel the same way. Another thing I like to think about is that even if the conversation fails, it's really no big deal. Quick exchange of words, and most will be understanding and not think too much of any blunders. And every time you practice, you are improving your skills and getting better at adjusting. So, really, it is a success no matter what. Finally, we have professional emailing. So I think this is super important, especially since this era is just definitely transitioned to become more technology based. Emailing professors, make sure you are very clear with your subject line and include a salutation. So the subject line normally includes the class name and then also the project or the assignment that you want to ask about. Salutation, dear, hello, professor, etc. is really just a good way, basic way to start. Self-introduction. So my name is etc., and I am in your class. I have been dealing with whichever issues. State really clearly what these issues are, and that way it would be the most uh, efficient way for the professor to respond. And then finally, after you are done relaying your message, sign off saying thank you for your time. I hope to hear back from you soon. I look forward to your next message. Best, sincerely, your name.